In this video, I want to lay down a rock solid foundation for neurolinguistic programming by grounding it in neuroscience, psychology, and behavioral science, right? Things that have gone through the experimental procedure. I don't believe anything other than that. So, this will help us understand how perception, language, and emotion create people's reality, and how mastering this gives you an edge in our niche of high ticket sales and remote closing, specifically for info product offers or offers online where it requires a belief of transformation, whether it's for themselves, their business, their relationships, their health, their pockets, whatever it is. All right. So NLP, the breakdown. I've took a lot of notes after watching 20 plus podcasts, reading three or four, three books, talking to ChatGPT day and night for the past month. I've taken some considerations and notes, and I'm going to break these up into different sections, giving you guys the best idea or background of what exactly this is and how to implement this correctly. Because if not, this is just some woo shit. All right. So NLP, neuro linguistic programming, the neuro part being how our nervous system actually processes the information, and then the linguistic part of how the things we say, like how language shapes and reflects these experiences. And then programming is how thought and behavioral patterns can redesign the way people think about things. You can actually program stuff in your own brain and in other people's brains as well. Um, a lot of people will take note that like, oh, I made it popular, but it was actually developed by Richard Bandler in 1970s. So it's still relatively new as he was a mathematician, but he modeled this for communicators and therapists. Um, and at the time, like therapy was slow and academic, so it matters so much, or this discovery matters so much because it extracted the patterns of change, not the theory. So it offered speed, flexibility, and tools for personal transformation. That's what we're here to do. And if you understand how clients process information, feel trust, and actually make their decisions, you become lethal. Like you could sell anything. So you're not just actually selling info products. You're reprogramming their beliefs, their identity, and fears in real time, then and there, allowing them to break down those barriers. I have this quote here: "The map is not the territory." Alfred Korzybski. Everyone has like a subjective map of the world, right? Based on filters like, okay, what's their upbringing? What's their emotions? What's their beliefs, their cultures, their trauma, what language they're speaking? And because of such differences, we got to take all of that into account, right? So considering neurological evidence, we have something in your brain called reticular activating systems, RAS for short. Like your brain filters millions of different stimuli to only focus on what they want to focus on. So that internal map, right? There's right now. Let me turn my camera on. Let me turn the camera on. I'm looking at so many things outside my office desk. So many things. But I happen to be dialed in on this camera, right? Because my brain tells me to focus on this thing. I have an internal map as well. And understanding how the brain works top down. It's top down processing. Even though there's so many complications, the brain predicts reality more than it observes it, right? That's how you could have just a silhouette of something and your brain can fill in the gaps and you see a figure. Hebbian learning, right? Neurons that fire together wire together. Beliefs and behaviorals patterns are neural loops. And with that finding, that's such a breakthrough because neural loops can be rewired. And for a lot of the times for people to make transformations, to make the step, invest in themselves, they have to think a little bit more differently. So ever notice how like some prospects only like hear what they want to hear? That's their RAS in action, right? Like your job in remote closing isn't to convince, buy. It's to reframe their internal map so your offer becomes the obvious next step, right? NLP helps you speak directly to their filters using their words, their coded language, their values, their emotions. So, it'll allow you to bypass resistance and unlock buying behavior. That's what we want to focus on, buying behavior more than anything else. So, there's a lot of presuppositions of NLP. I mean, like lenses. And think of them as mental operating systems for influence, right? So I have a couple checklists. The first, the meaning of your communication is the response you get. So it doesn't matter what you meant. It matters how the prospect responded. Simple enough. Like if they ghost, if they stall, if they say like, yeah, I need to think about it. That's feedback on your delivery, your framing. It's not just about them. It's on you. Two, people have all the resources they need, right? NLP, everyone is seen as like capable of transformation. Like your job isn't to fix, it's to guide and unlock. Like, hey, this is the process that allows for transformation. Do you want to join in on this or no? In sales, this means you never buy into like the I can't afford it story. Like you help them find the part of them that's actually committed to growth and takes action, that's aligned to taking action. And then you move forward from there. Right? Because every behavior has a positive intent, and resistance is just misaligned values or like just a protective strategy or a barrier that prospects will put up. So when a prospect stalls or argues, ask, what is this behavior trying to protect? Like ask yourself. If someone is it's scared of investing or scared to take the next step, why? What is this behavior of them having second thoughts all the time? What is this mechanism in their brain trying to protect? And then you pivot, right? Like fear of investing may be protecting them from feeling regret, embarrassment, or repeating past mistakes. 4, the last one. If one person can do it, it can be modeled. And I think in sales, like if one closer is crushing 50K a month, it's not magic. You have to convey that it's a pattern that can be modeled, installed, it can be actually refined. So NLP, like I know this is an introduction, but NLP will arm you with the tools to observe and replicate and kind of embed some of these success patterns into your closing skills and your closing curriculum. And a lot of people will say like, oh, there's lack of peer review. Oh, it's just like some woo-wah, like mystical stuff. But honestly, there's a lot of scientific grounding for it, like CBT, reframing thoughts, EMDRs for dissociations, parts work, habit loop interruption therapies. Like, it's a lot of proof that it works. But in terms of the neuroscience validations, when we're just studying the prefrontal cortex and some of the cognitive reappraisals, like that stuff is objective. Like mirror neurons, I'm looking here, like neuroplasticity, all this stuff is real and it's trackable. So I don't want you to take all of this with a grain of salt. Take it up front. But yeah, I hope you understand the kind of the perception of what this is. You're excited about kind of dialing all these details in, and we'll look forward to having you be a master of NLP.